The brain is a complex machine built of millions of interconnecting roads and paths that even today we do not fully understand. So as you can imagine, it requires some sort of fuel. Your brain might instantly jump to food. Food is the fuel the brain needs, but that's not quite the whole story. The brain runs off of a hybrid of systems very similar to a Prius. The Prius has an engine that requires gas, just like the human brain requires food. But the Prius also has a battery that needs to be charged, just like the brain has a battery that needs to be charged by sleep. Now, the Prius can't run forever because it would simply run out of juice. This is why there are special features in the car to charge its battery, such as active braking, where the car uses its momentum while braking in order to charge the battery. This is very similar to sleeping, putting the brakes on for the day and charging your battery. Now, how much should you charge your battery? Well, research shows that high school students require just as much sleep as children, meaning ideally they should be getting 9.25 hours of sleep per night. But teens are not getting that much sleep. Studies have shown that teens on average only get 7 hours of shut-eye per night, throwing them into a hole of sleep deprivation that is ever deepening. And this is dangerous. A Prius, just like the brain, while running on low energy, will start to slowly turn off features to preserve battery power. And research has shown that sleep deprivation in short term shows decreased performance and alertness, memory and cognitive impairment, stress in relationships, poor quality of life, occupational injury, and automobile injuries. In the long term, people are also at risk for high blood pressure, heart attacks, heart failure, stroke, obesity, depression and other mood disorders, attention deficit disorder, and mental impairment. So how do we fix this problem? We can't make the school day shorter, and we can't make days last 25 hours. And we can't stop students from doing extracurricular activities. We can, though, move the school start time back an hour. Now, this might sound like a crazy idea to you. You can't just cut the end of a rope, put it on the other end, and say you have a longer rope, because, well, that's crazy talk. But the reason this would work is because when children get to adolescence, their biological clock changes. Research done by Mary Carskadden at Brown University and Bill Demmett at Stanford have studied groups of 10 to 12-year-olds, and they found that at 12 hours of being awake, subjects were less sleepy than earlier in the day. And at the 10 o'clock test, after 14 hours of sleep, that subjects were even less sleepy. This is due to a phase delay that affects teens, creating a forbidden sleep zone from around 9 to 10, making it very hard to fall asleep. Also, the window of 9 to 10 is about the time parents are winding down and putting their kids to bed. This is also the same window that most teens will need to fall asleep on a school night if they're going to get an adequate amount of sleep. A project spearheaded by Carskadden investigated to see what happens to children in this transitional stage. They investigated a group of teens transitioning from 10th grade to 9th grade. During 9th grade, school started at only 8:25, but in the 10th grade, it switched to 7:20. Carskadden found that when kids made the transition from 9th grade to 10th grade, they only woke up 25 minutes earlier, instead of the 65 minutes reflected in the start time change. Sleep onset times did not change, and for both 9th and 10th grade, it stayed at around 10:40 p.m. The average sleep also fell from 7 hours and 9 minutes per night to 6 hours and 50 minutes per night. Now, 20 minutes might not sound like much, but it's actually significant. In order for kids to start getting the same amount of sleep that they used to, they would have to make up an extra 100 minutes over the weekend just to get back where they were before, and where they were before was still collecting a sleep deficit. Carskadden also found that 10th graders showed reverse sleep patterns in the morning. This sleep pattern is very similar to the sleeping disorder narcolepsy, where a person will move immediately into REM sleep before non-REM sleep. We also asked some students at South Eugene High School how they would feel about start times being pushed back.
About 6.
Over the last 3 or 4 weeks, probably around 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
Around 6 hours, I would say.
Not that much. I'd say around like 8.
between 11 and 1.
1 o'clock is an early night.
1? Wow.
About 12 or 12:30.
Anywhere from like 9 to 11.
Pretty fairly often.
I wish I could do it more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Or do you stay up to do the homework?
No, I usually like to stay up and do the homework.
Yeah.
It'd be way better if you show up the first period late every day.
Really?
You know,
How many times a week do you think you show up late?
4 to 5.
Do you always do your homework on it, or do you ever skip to go to bed?
I usually do it. That's usually why I'm late.
Yeah.
I've skipped before.
Right now, teens are not getting enough sleep. This can affect their grades in school, their quality of life, their health, and their safety while driving on the streets. In order to help this problem, all we have to do is move the school start times back.